Well, good morning and welcome everybody to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club.
Hey.
July 1st, man. What? Here we are.
Man.
Kristen Simpson's breaking out the Christmas decorations this afternoon.
Already.
She's getting ready to go. Some tinsel around the house. Something like that, right?
Yeah, well, no, hey, Todd's going to join you. What's up, Todd?
Todd's already there. That's right.
There.
Nice stuff. All right, Carl White made it. We've got him in the house, thank goodness. Otherwise, the show is going to be a lot different than we had planned.
Frank was nervous, Carl. I told him, I said, Carl, don't be nervous.
I was not nervous. I wasn't nervous. I was actually kind of excited. Thought, okay, contingency plans, we can do that. That was my Navy training. You know, never to really
Navy
be nervous
training.
about.
That's
never to really be nervous about anything.
Marine training coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So we do need to start kind of a little quicker today. I think today's show is going to be, just take a little more time than we normally take. So we probably won't have too much banter at the beginning here. We will have to check in with Wayne Garrison, though, and just see how he's doing. Wayne, how are you doing, man? Doing good? Can you unmute for us and talk to us real quick?
Unmute. Doing great.
Great, man. Cool.
This month celebrates my 40th year in the banking industry.
Wow.
No way. Congratulations.
Nice.
8 years in mortgages, but the other 32 in retail and commercial banking. So glad to still be here.
Wow.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Wow, good stuff. Where are you located? Where are you at?
Lord, Alabama. Foley, Alabama. Orange
Nice.
Beach, Gulf Shores.
Yeah, couldn't have told by the accent at all. Not at all.
And by the way, I got my Georgia Bulldog behind me, so go Dogs.
There you go. Right on.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing with us more. You doing okay? Got some business rolling?
It's starting to pick up. Been a little slow, but the phone's ringing.
You working the plan, man?
Doing the best I can.
Doing the best I can. All right. Well, you got this, man. Thanks for showing up. Super appreciate you.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, Joanne, we were just talking about you. You've got your hand raised already. Yeah, you were a topic of discussion.
Yikes.
Yeah, both yesterday and this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hey, I'm going to give you a call a little bit later today. I got a favor to ask you.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, that's very exciting.
Just have your checkbook available.
I don't know what the favor is, but sure, I'll do it.
Great. That's good to know.
I had to share because we just are coming off the most amazing month that we have had in probably 2.5 years. Probably we had 13 closings. We still have 15 loans in the pipeline. We should have had 16. 3 got pushed. No fault of ours. One of the loans that got pushed, but it is closing, is a non-warrantable condo. And my team wanted to give up. I took it back from them because I didn't want to clog up the wheel with, a loan that we weren't sure we were going to close. And I processed the loan, which I absolutely hate. So there's that. I will never be a processor again. But we did it and we got it closing it tomorrow. So very exciting stuff. And I'm down 8 pounds because I think I shared it on
you just keep on winning.
I'm a coach for my business and a coach for myself, and just June was good to me. So and July is going to be amazing.
So hey, Joanne, this is the favor we were going to ask, and
you're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah, well, we wanted to just kind of figure out like what's it like, a day in the life of Joanne closing 13 to 15 deals. And we wanted to feature you on the show, maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday. Are you open to either one of those days? But we got to figure something out before we pick the day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we already featured me, but if you want to feature me again, sure.
Well, yeah, we want to feature you again. Hey, you know what?
Well,
there's probably a bunch of people that weren't around the last
and
time.
And the question I've got for you, not for now, but for when we do this, is like, what is it that you think? And don't answer now. What is it that you think you're doing different, that you're having your best months and since the 2020, 2021 boom, 13 loans and another, I can't remember what you said, like 10 in the pipeline, something like
15.
that. 15 in the pipeline. What's an extra 5 loans between friends? But, what's the difference do you think that you're doing or the assets that you have that most like that the loan officers that are really struggling right now, like what's different? That's what we really want to cover.
And so don't answer now.
I won't.
Yeah, don't
So-
answer now.
I won't.
Just
But
just-
be pondering that. Ponder
Yeah.
that. It's a real question.
I'm going to write it down.
yeah, process
Okay.
that.
What's different?
Yeah. All right, cool. So there you go. A little sneak peek teaser, guys, of what
Like
could be
it.
coming tomorrow or possibly Monday. We'll find out, but I'm wildly curious. All right, Deanna has her hand up. Man, we don't have to even ask anybody to raise their hand this morning. What the heck's going on
Isn't that
around
nice?
here?
We just have nice people here, man.
We do. Deanna, what do you got?
Good morning, you guys. So,
Morning.
knowing that we are now 50% through the year, yesterday I took a day to reflect, see what I need to do on my business, and actually had a moment of tears last night. So, last year I did $12,465,000 in volume. As of yesterday, I did $12,197 in volume, so $268,000 short of matching last year. And
12
that,
million.
yeah, 12 million, sorry.
Yeah. So you've almost matched what you did the whole last year and first half of this
In
year.
the
You know what
first
that,
half of
you know
this
what that
year.
means? You know what that means, though?
I've been
What that,
listening to you guys.
no. You know what that means? That means you could take the rest of the year off, and it's still good. I'm just saying. You could. You could take the rest of the year off, and it's still good. Isn't that amazing?
Because I really need to figure out what's next to keep me on the growth that I'm growing.
Mm.
And I'm evaluating some of my not my processes, but my team and things to make it go smoother to pull me more out of my files.
Great.
Man, is that the best tee up for what we're doing today?
I was just going
Or-
to say, you're in
Is
luck.
it-
Holy cow!
I need that.
Steve? Did you call her up and say, "Hey,
I
okay, here's what I
did.
want you to say"?
I did.
Here's what
I
want you
said
to say.
right before, right around
Yeah.
7:37, 8:37 Eastern. I want you to jump on the mic.
And ask this. Yeah,
That's
or say
right.
that. Well, first of all, congratulations, man.
congratulations.
I mean,
Good
that
for
is
you.
freaking awesome. Next thing to be concerned about is who's going to pay those taxes. We don't know that, so you're going to have to figure that out. But
Where do you live, Deanna? Where you at?
Just a little north of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Where so am I. That's where exactly I'm at right now. Where are you at?
I'm in Concord.
Oh, Concord. Oh,
I'm
NASCAR.
right-
NASCAR Kingdom is in
My
Concord.
office is right across from Concord Mills. You'll have to stop in and see me sometime.
Nice. Yeah, I'm up here in High Point right now. We got up here over the weekend, so we're here for
I
the
go-
next couple of weeks. So
I go up there. I have a lot of business up that way.
yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah. Well, I'll be sure to stay out of Concord and High Point. Apparently,
yeah,
when it comes time to writing loans, because there's
she's
already
got it
a queen
wrapped
there.
up.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got it wrapped up. So good for you, Deanna.
No, thank you guys. I've been listening to you for, probably about 4 or 5 years now. And, I really appreciate you guys help keep me motivated. So I appreciate this every morning.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And,
Well, we-
and now you're giving back, by helping others. So
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time.
all right. So what we're going to do today
What are we doing, Carl?
is here's what we're going to do. So me and Steve and Frank and Kevin and Jen and Krista and Kristen. I think that's got it. I hate doing that because I'm going to forget the most important person likely. But anyway, what we're going to do, like anytime we look at growth, like I want to do, like I want to, like, what do I need to do to go to the next level? Or I'm wanting to do something, or I'm wanting growth. The first thing that we do, myself and Steve and Frank and Kevin and Chris Johnstone and insert and Krista and Kristen and Jen, the first thing we do is we make a list, and the list that we make is what are our assets. In other words, like if I call Steve and say, "Hey, Steve, I want you to build a car," or Steve calls me up and say, "Hey, Carl, we need an engine for the car." The first thing we do is we open up the toolbox, we open up the garage. What do we got? Because if you don't take an honest um,
Assessment.
of what you have,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can't build anything. Because like if I've only got a little bit of iron, a little bit of steel, if I've only got 4 pistons, then we're going to build a 4 piston engine. If I've got 12 pistons, we're going to build a Rolls Royce, right? So it just depends on what I got in the toolbox. And by the way, if we need to run to the grocery store to go get some more pistons, figuratively speaking, of course, then at least we know how many we need, and we don't waste time doing things that we don't need to do because we already got them in the toolbox, or this is the real gaping hole that we have. So we call it assets and liabilities. And so all of us have assets in our business. And these are the things that give us momentum, make life easier, helps us close more loans and know what to focus on. And we've also got liabilities, and we have to be real honest about that. I was talking with Kristen about that yesterday. It's like, hey, where's our weak point? Kristen's got a brilliant mind. Where's our weak points? What are we missing? Right? And what are we oftentimes the case with like businesses, including my own? What are we tolerating? What are we avoiding that's quietly costing us money and time and peace of mind? And so today's about getting honest, right? So we're here as a group, and I get it. There's hundreds of us here, but it's a cool group. It's a nice group. It's a group that we can be vulnerable to. I know that I am. I show my weak spots here all the time because it's only when I go up to Chris Johnson and say, "Hey, man, I'm really struggling with this thing right here," that Chris can offer me help. It's only when I go up to Steve, says, "Steve, I got my foot, I got my thumb caught in the car door here. How do I get it out?" Right? And my brother Steve doesn't go, "Well, idiot, why'd you put your thumb in the door?" That's not our approach here, right? Our approach here is, "Cool, man, I got your back." Now, after he gets my thumb out of the door, he might have a stern talk and say, "Hey, Carl, okay, about the thumb in the door. We need to have a chat about that. But right now, we need to get the thumb out of the door." And that's what we're going to do here for a little bit. And we're going to be doing a series here that, frankly, I think it was Kristen came up with the idea, and Frank said, "Brilliant idea," and so we're going to run with this as a series, and so what we're going to do and by the end of this series, you're going to know exactly, Deanna, what needs to shift and make the second half of 2025 even better than the first, for Deanna and Joanna. And if you realize, by the way, as we put together our asset and liability list, if you're running a little short on assets, that's why we built this community, right? That's why the mortgage marketing animals exist, right? And the leadership academy that Kevin runs and Chris Johnson. That's why we're here. Is we solve our own problems in our own business, and then we share it with everybody else. Hey, here's what I'm doing. Maybe you ought to try it out and see how it's working out for you. So let's kind of dive into this a little bit. Jen, do you have the little cheat sheet?
Carl, can I just say one thing quick?
Yes, ma'am.
When you do increase your business, you do start to see the little cracks in the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It was my best month, but it was also very, very stressful. So you do start to see those little cracks of where there could be some improvement.
Well, it's funny you say that. So, like, a buddy of mine was a welder. Actually, my brother. So my brother was a welder, and what they did is they made big pipes like culverts that would go under the roads. And what they would do is they would inside that concrete is actually a piece of a metal tube. And what they do is he would weld the seam shut, and then they put end cap and put pressure. And when they put pressure on that water, they'd see where the water is spitting out. And they go, "Oh, we need a better weld there. We got a leak there." So you're right. It's not until we apply it's not until we get the engine up at high RPM that we find out we got a spark plug missing. We got a cylinder loose. We got something's not right. When we're idling on pit row, when we're closing 1 or 2 loans a month, there is stress. Actually, it's a worse stress. It's a stress of, "Oh my gosh, my bills are due." Right? God knows I've been there more than once in my life, right? And so you're right, Joanne. It's when we apply that pressure. So, Jen, do you have that little cheat sheet?
I do. I put it in the chat.
All right. So this is a little cheat sheet that we're going to be going over, and we may or may not get over all this today. But again, this is going to be a little series, and what we're going to do is you're going to self assess with our help. You're going to self assess your assets and your liabilities. And then we're going to take a little bit of a leap of faith if you kind of just trust us on this in a very cool way, very respectful way. We're also going to point out on your liabilities exactly what is that costing you? How bad is that? Because there's some liabilities I have like, well, I got this thing, here, and they go, nah, that's not so bad. We've had worse. And I've got other things that is like, holy cow, this is a real problem. Like, I don't know, like let's say our phone went down. Let's say our internet goes down completely for the day and our phone system's on the internet. It's only one problem, big freaking problem, right? At least for that day. Other things is like, it's no big deal. My VA that does this one little job title, it's no big deal. She's out today. She can do it, tomorrow, or Bob can step in and he can kind of do it. So, all right. So the first thing that we want to look at here.
Can we bring it up on the screen so we can see it, or should we do that, or no, or should we?
Yeah, we can do that. Hang on a
Let's
second.
do that. Yeah, so that we can kind of chat about it.
Let me get that risque picture I had of Steve that I was sharing earlier. Can you share? All right. So the first one we're going to look at is your CRM system. And what you want to do is like, and you know what? Maybe in the chat, not just yet. Let me describe it here for a minute. So your CRM system, every big business has one. I mean, if you look at it, Amazon, that's all they really are. They're a CRM company, right? They just happen to sell stuff, but they identify. I mean, they're masters I get Chris Johnson. We can be over at my house and he'll say, "Hey, have you ever gone skiing?" And, let me look at ski poles. And then what happens? Amazon starts sending me offers about skiing poles, right? It's just that's how it works, right? Smart, smart. So on your CRM, what it allows us to do here, I put a little cheat sheet here. I was going to use for myself, but I'll share it. Is it tracks client milestones and follow-up dates. It automates email and text campaigns, centralizes contact info for quick access, and increases repeat business and referrals. And so, just in the chat right here on your CRM, is it an asset for you right now? Just an honest conversation. Is it an asset for you right now? Like I constantly use it to stay in touch with my leads, past clients, and agents. Or frankly, Carl, I either don't have one, but most of us do. We're just not using it. Like, or we're scratching the surface. We use it to store phone numbers in, kind of thing. But it's not actually, every time a I don't know, I get a list of agents and I want to be marketing to them. And it knows how long so-and-so's been in, it knows what offers to make, who's responding to what, who have we done deals with, who have we not done deals with. Go totally different conversation with those people. Are they primary listing agent? Are they primary a buyer's agent? Are they the broker? Are they a buyer's only agent? And so in the chat, just so we kind of get a lay of the land here, is your CRM currently, the way you're using it, is it an asset or is it a liability? Because on the liability part, when we look at it, the liability part is, without a CRM, your best leads are falling through the cracks. And one thing that, always kind of disturbed me a little bit when it came to, somebody said this to me one time, I never forgot it. His name was Dave Hoyt. And Dave told me early on in the game, he said, "Carl, every missed follow-up is a deal someone else is doing. Every missed follow-up is a deal someone else is doing." And that was just like a knife in my chest. And then he twisted a little bit. It was painful just to think about that. It's not that they're not doing. Oh no, they're doing. They're just not doing with me. They're not doing with you, perhaps. And I've learned that you can't, as much as I've tried, you can't build a business on sticky notes and memory. You can't do it. Like, it's not going to work out. And if you're not using it, you're paying for silence. Like you're right. Like if those 3 loans that I didn't close, what Dave taught me, and just using today's numbers, let's say you make $3,000 per loan. Those 3 loans that I didn't close because I don't have my CRM in use, I wrote a check that month for $9,000 for the privilege of not doing those 3 loans because somebody did, just wasn't you, just wasn't me, right? Just being honest. So is your CRM, is it the way you're currently using it? Is it an asset or is it a liability? What you got, Kevin?
I was just going to say, I think you're aware of this. We did a survey in the Leadership Academy of all the branch managers, and only about 20% of them had their CRMs filled out. But those who really had it leveraged and their LOs were acclimated to it, the loan officers averaged 3 to 4 more loans a month over the loan officers who did not use their CRM.
A month.
A month.
Yeah. So let's just say 3. Let's underestimate. Let's just say 3. No income claims here, right? I don't know who you each individually are per se. I don't know what you're doing or not doing, but let's just say $3,000 per loan. So that'd be $9,000, right? Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What is just more or less? What is a monthly of your CRM? What does that cost per month?
It's $297 a month.
Yeah. So $297 is the liability of it, and the asset of it in this hypothetical situation, $9,000.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you think having a CRM is expensive, you don't even want to look at the check you're writing every month for not having one.
Yeah.
Right. Or let's say I'm not going to pick on any CRM. Some of them are pretty complicated, right? And let's say even if I got this complicated one, which Chris's is not, but let's just say it was a complicated one, and you go, yeah, but I got to hire somebody to set it up for me because they don't have the done for you walkthrough help that Chris has. But you need to have somebody set up your CRM for you, and you go, yeah, I'm gonna hire Jennifer Woodland to set up my CRM for me. And girlfriend ain't cheap because she's amazing at what she does. And she's going to, again, just completely hypothetical situation here. She's going to charge me $3,000 to set it up. So my liability would be the $3,000 set it up, but my asset would be the $9,000. And when you look, it goes back to that write small checks to cash big checks. And so you've got to just do that real gut check on how is my CRM doing for me? And I'm just curious on the chats, with your CRM, your asset or your liability? What most of them come up with?
It's split down the middle.
Yeah.
Truthfully, some people are like an asset every day. And there's a lot of, I'm using it, but totally not the way I should be.
Yeah, I get it.
So right now it would be a liability, but you can turn that into an asset.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's just self-assessment, right? And it's all good. I don't care how amazing you are, there's always something to be working on. And I think taking that honest look at ourselves of what do we need to work on, that's what the greats do. When Kevin, probably every other week, Kevin asked me a great question. Carl, what else could I be doing? And the dude's amazing, right? First rate, high class, amazing at Leadership Academy. Carl, what else can I be doing? What else can I be doing? You look at the greats, like we're talking about NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt, him and Richard Petty, likely the 2 best, arguably, but likely the 2 best drivers there ever were. Constantly, what can I do to improve? What can I do to decrease my lap time by 0.2 of a second? Because the difference between getting the deal and not getting the deal is sometimes it's like horse racing. The difference between first place at the Kentucky Derby and second place in time is oftentimes by a nose. The check that's written to the each individuals, huge difference, right? That 0.2. And so that 0.2 difference, that one connection you made using your CRM or however you're doing it, that one little connection that you make might be the difference that gives you that extra 3 loans. Because the difference between you and 3 loans is not a country mile. I'm telling you, it's these little by a nose things. Right. So, all right. So that
Carl,
was.
Can I add something to that? I don't want to throw you off your flow.
Sure.
Just on a CRM, there's so many things people can get wrapped up in. If I could just share one thing with the group that I see people get the CRM and it gets them that much closer to that, it's having the CRM serve up the daily success plan every day. When you log in, the power dialer already has the people that you're supposed to call that day preloaded. So you can just go in, it's Monday. Here's who I call on Monday. You open up Monday's power dialer, you hit the button, you're making your calls. If you look at how do I turn my CRM, how do I do that one little thing that's going to generate the results? I think that's the one thing that people can really take away.
Love it. Good stuff, Chris. All right. The next thing we're going to look at, and this is probably for me, this is like the hardest, and there's others that equal this. Nothing's more than this, is your team. Man, your team is like everything. So is your team, and now, and we're not talking about, like, let's say your processor, and I'm just going to make up a name here, is whatever, Josh. I just made up a name. If somebody's here by the name of Josh, I apologize. I had to grab a name. So Josh. So when I'm deciding is Josh an asset or liability, I'm not talking about him as a human being. And this is what I've had to come to terms with. I'm not talking about him as a human being. I'm talking about his performance here, like at your shop. Like, and maybe they're the best processor ever, but at your shop, not working out so well. I've had that happen, right? For whatever reason, doesn't matter why. Is this person an asset or a liability? An asset is organized, proactive, closes loans cleanly and on time, and requires very little of my input. Very little. Because every time they're calling me to ask me what color shirts they should wear that day, I'm not prospecting. You're not prospecting, right? Which is the liability, constant mistakes. The time and energy that we spend getting a new referral partner, like I've been spending the last 6 months looking to work with Dave Fernandez, just an awesome hypothetical realtor that here in my area, and I've spent the last 6 months calling and coffeeing and taught classes, and after the class, I go hook up with Dave, because Dave, everybody knows Dave's an awesome guy. He's super friendly, easy to work with, just the kind of guy I want to work with. And finally, after 6 months, we've all had this happen. Finally, after 6 months, he refers somebody over to me. And what happens? My processor, hypothetical person, Josh, snaps at him, makes a mistake. We have we have a communication issue. What that just cost me, what that just costs you every time that happens, in that case, is literally tens of thousands of dollars. Because if I can get Dave, who's a top producer and can easily refer me a closing a month, Dave's worth 36 grand a year for me. And so every time my processor snaps at him, or my loan partner misses that bank statement thing, they miss that $10,000 transfer of funds or whatever that is, that just cost me 36 grand. Happens 3 times in a year, not every day, 3 times in a year, just cost me 100 grand. And it cost me all that time and energy I spent to get Dave in the first place. And rightfully so. He said, "Craig, Carl, man, I gave you a shot and you kind of blew it." Right? So I'll give you some breaking news. I personally never blow it, and I personally never win. It's the team. Right? I might be and again, we're just having an honest conversation here. I might be the face of my mortgage company and here in the training company, but honestly, it's the team. Like, they're the ones that like this fantastic series that we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. Hell, I didn't come up with it. Kristen did. Her and Frank were just having a conversation. Frank goes, "Hey, wait, whoa. What, say that again? Great idea."
Hi, thanks for enjoying Loan Officer Breakfast Club here on YouTube. I just wanted to drop in and remind you that if you're a newer loan officer and you're trying to get to that 2 or 3 deals a month, or if you're seasoned and you're trying to get from 50 to 60 or 60 to 80, Mortgage Marketing Animals has you covered. We've got the full gambit from start to finish, top to bottom, Everything you need is at mortgagemarketinganimals.com. There's a reason that mortgagemarketinganimals.com is the #1 mortgage coaching platform in the country. So check it out, mortgagemarketinganimals.com.
Right. So your team has to be an asset for you. Your team has to be that when Realtor Kelly, when you work with Realtor Kelly, she goes, man, that Carl, he's just an amazing guy. That Don Lake, I love working with that guy. Sue Moody, man, that lady's got it going on. I wish all my deals were going through her. Right. And then they'll appropriately so steer as many in your steer, refer, recommend as many as they can. And so the liability of having the wrong person, like if you're fixing mistakes after submissions, you're not growing, right? A bad processor, or let me say it another way. A processor who's doing bad work kills trust and with agents and clients. And you're not just losing time, you're losing credibility. And credibility takes forever to gain and one screw up to lose. Now, does it mean that all my referral partners are only good as your last deal? No, because like maybe I've been working with Vince Queen for a couple years now. Hey, Vince is going to give me a little bit of a break. Hey, Vince, man, I'm sorry that we with this one kind of fell through the cracks. Hey, it won't happen again. Okay, man. Hey, Carl, just make sure you check on that next time. But if it's the first deal he's sending over to me, probably not going to get a second. So one bad file can cost you easily 5 future referrals. Easy. And so in the comments, again, we're not talking about as human beings. Is your team an asset or a liability? And one of the most common things I hear, Frank, is, well, so-and-so fantastic processor, but man, I can't have him talk to my clients. I can't have her talk to my clients because they're kind of mean as a snake, or, their people skills aren't so great, but boy, are they a great processor. But the people skills are everything.
No.
Without the bedside manners, I don't care how good of a doctor you are. If you make everybody nervous and weird and, nobody wants to use you. Right. So these people have to be amazing at what they do and amazing communicators. 2 different skill sets. They have to have both. They can't have, well, they're great at this, but they screw that up. They can't have that. So is each person on your team an asset, or are they a liability? Are they an asset or a liability? So I see we're up on time here, Frank. This is going to take, but I hope you understand that, like, looking at each piece of this is so critical. It's so critical. And we're going to be on, and as you look at your different assets and liabilities, you might look at that and you go, well, I've got 9 assets and only 1 liability. But if that 1 liability is your team, or that 1 liability is my follow-up on my past clients, or my 1 liability is my time management is horrible, not only does that make work challenging, frankly, it probably making home challenging too, and that ain't good. I can tell you that firsthand. Right? So so it's not like, well, I've got 8 out of 2, so I'm pretty good, because some of these are weighted way more than others. Some of them are a lot more serious than others. Like if we'll get into more of them here in the weeks coming up. But you've got to take an honest assessment of your liabilities and of your assets. And then you got to figure out, what are you going to do to fix them? It's like on your assets, you want to throw gas on those, is what Kevin always tells us. What's working, you want to throw gas on. What's not working, you better fricking fix it. Because I don't care how good your 3 tires are. If you got 1 flat tire, you're out of the race. That ain't going to happen. Yeah, but my other 3 are amazing. Doesn't matter. You're going to hit the wall, sure as the world. What you got, Brad?
I loved your cheat sheet. Your sheet this mid-year. Could you share your cheat sheet? Would you mind doing that with your extra little comments?
Yeah, we can do that.
We've got the one that Jen put in, but it doesn't have your.
I tell you what, because of time, so we're gonna do more of this. I'll upload the whole thing next time. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think this is very strong stuff. This is
Okay,
good
all right.
stuff.
So yeah, so we'll upload the whole thing I think it's next Tuesday. We're gonna continue on this. We'll upload the whole thing. But yeah, it's critical. So we got to throw an ad in here, Kristen. What's our ad for the morning?
I have no idea.
How about go ahead,
Go
Frank.
ahead. Well, I was going to say a couple things. Number one, I'd like to do the favor and just say, hey, if you got good stuff today out of Breakfast Club, maybe go into the Facebook group and just say how much you enjoyed the show today. We'd like to get more people to show up. That'd be kind. But I think that a lot of the stuff gets covered. First of all, we have Carl doing a whole class on this coming up on the 10th. Is that what it is, Carl?
Yeah,
for
on
members?
July 10th in the membership,
Right.
we're doing a
Deep
like
dive.
a deep dive on the mid-year checkup.
There you go.
It's a very, 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 very simple process, actually.
Yeah, we've got that. But also, a lot of the stuff gets covered in Steve's boot camps. And if you go to, it's, what is it? Freedom, what is it? Loan Officer Freedom Call?
Freedomplanningcall.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I had a phone glitch go on there. Sorry for that, guys. Did you get it? Did we get the link in there? Freedomplanningcall.com. Freedomplanningcall.com. It would be good to go there.
Yeah, if you haven't done one of his 8-week boot camps, I'm telling you, and I don't even do it. Like he's the one. It's amazing. Like it's absolutely amazing. I'd strongly recommend.
Sorry, guys.
I'd strongly recommend that you do that. I think, that'd be a really big deal. And then the other thing we're doing in the Alliance today, I'm doing a class I've never done before, Frank. So
What is it?
I'm teaching how, like, what got me thinking about is this assets and liability thing. And I started thinking, I thought, all right, what's one of my assets? Like if I had to pick one that's really moved the needle, what is it? And it's something that probably a lot of people would kind of foo-foo a little bit, but I'm telling you, it's been the one single game changer for me.
Wow.
And that's like the email marketing. I think sometimes we make a mistake in thinking, yeah, but the social media and AI, which is all fantastic, right? But I can tell you right now, the amount of deals we get, both in our training and in our mortgage side, from the emails, spanks everything else. Now again, we got to make phone calls. We got to talk to these people. I'm not saying that, but as far as like our marketing goes, yeah, I call, so to me, social media and emailing is more marketing than prospecting. I think prospecting, at least in my mind, is working the phone, teaching classes, going to the association, having lunch with Krista, hanging out with Kevin and soaking up information. That's prospecting. But marketing is like social media, email, videos, YouTube, MoveTube, all these different ways of doing that. And email, it's not even close. It's for us, it's first place by a country mile. And so what we're going to be talking about today is how do you do effective email marketing to large groups of people? Like, what do you say? How do you do it? Where do you get the list? How do you send out the emails without getting shut down?
Yeah,
And how do you send those things out that people go, all right, tell me more? There's an absolute formula for doing it. And so myself and Diane Ranger, who's been the genius behind it again, I don't want to take the credit. Diane Ranger's the one that the deliverability, what's an open rate that you can expect? What's a click rate you can expect? When do you think you need it? What are you doing that sometimes we think we're doing pretty good because we have this percentage. I'm going to show you the actual numbers to expect. If you're getting anything less than this, you need to take a look at it. And it's way cheaper and way easier than it's ever been before. So that's what we're talking about today.
Nice. That'll be great.
Yeah.
A lot of people think email marketing's kind of dead. It's not.
Oh,
if you
dude.
do it right. Yeah.
So Frank, I thought it was too, until about a year ago, Diane said, okay, don't foo-foo the email. I'm doing all the social media stuff, right? Which I think is big, right? I think that's big too. But she showed me the actual numbers that we get from email versus social media. It's not even close.
Wow.
I mean, and we do good on social media. Like
you got to do it all. You got to do it all. I mean, it's just the way it is. Yeah.
But to ignore email at the expense of doing like social media videos, huge mistake. I would get my email first and then I'd work on my social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, man. Awesome. So there you go. That's what's going on. But hey, man, we got to get going here. It's about 8 after. We got to get to work. Today's Tuesday. It's Just Ask Tuesday. Make sure you do your Just Ask. tasks. And with that, we'll get out of here. We'll be here tomorrow for more Loan Officer Breakfast Club. What do you say? You guys ready? Ready to get out of here? All right. You guys have a great one. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Appreciate you. Enjoy the checklist. Check things off. Is it an asset or a liability? If it's an asset, put more gas on it. If it's a liability, fix it. You guys have a great one. See you here tomorrow. Adios. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody.